Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is June 19th, 2024, and Barcelona are back to the 1-1 rule. Yes, you heard that correctly. Barcelona are back to the 1-1 rule, and I have all the details for you. Also, Hansi Flick has doubts about both the Joaos. Surprise, surprise. And finally, Sport are reporting that Hansi Flick has approved the arrival of Dani Olmo. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo and this is the Barca News live podcast, which is on every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It used to be at 7:30, now it's at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where not only do I get to share the Barcelona news with you, but I also get to interact with you lovely people in the chat section by reading your comments out loud, answering your questions, and getting a discussion going. For those of you who will be watching the live stream when it ends, don't worry, I will be putting timestamps in the description, chapters in the timeline, so you can skip through the discussion if that's what you want to do. Now, before we begin, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. If you're looking for Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, go to Kickback. If you're looking to place any sports bets on the Euros, what that's going on, or maybe the Copa America that starts tomorrow, go to Bet Us, where if you use my link, you get a free $100 to put towards any matches you'd like. And both links for Kickback and Bet Us are in the description. Now, let's begin with the news. And as usual, let's talk about the Euros, since I will be covering Barcelona players in the Euros. And well, today, Ilkay Gundogan led Germany to a victory over Hungary by 2-0. A score of 2-0. And not only was Gundogan absolutely spectacular, not only he led Germany to this victory and not potentially, I think it's officially, they're into the round of 16, but also he scored the second goal. And Gundogan proven to us time and time again that he is indeed one of our best midfielders. In fact, he was the best midfielder of Barcelona this past season. He had a pretty good season despite playing under the mess and a disaster that was Xavi's tactics. He still was our best midfielder, and he's showing his quality with Germany, with his positioning, the way he makes those runs to the box, with the way he combines with his teammates, pretty much still doing all the great work that he did with Barcelona, with Manchester City, with Germany now, and now potentially, becoming one of the favorites to win the Euros, which is pretty interesting because when this tournament began, the two teams that were favorites was kind of like France and England, even though I never believe England are favorites for anything except for going home. But both France and England had rocky starts. Meanwhile, Germany have now become one of the favorites alongside with Spain, which do play tomorrow. And I mentioned that because, of course, our players are representing Spain, which are Pedri, Lamine, Ferran Torres, and Fermin. It's a shame that Gavi and Balde couldn't be there, but nonetheless, Spain plays tomorrow. And also Christensen will play with Denmark tomorrow against, I can't remember against whom, but Spain, Italy. That's going to be one hell of a match. I can't wait to watch that. Now, speaking of the Euros, it's been revealed that Hansi Flick personally called all the players that were headed to the Euros. He got their cell phone numbers. He called them personally, introduced himself, wished them luck, wished them to stay healthy and to be careful not to get injured, and told all of them that he looks forward to coaching them and being their coach next season. And this news was confirmed by Lamine Yamal himself, who during an interview confirmed that Hansi Flick had called them and said the following: I spoke with him before the game. He told me good luck, that he was looking forward to the season starting, and I told him the same thing. So Lamine Yamal confirming that our coach Hansi Flick is already at work, calling the players, introducing himself, building rapport with the players, wishing them luck, which is a pretty cool thing to see, because after all, that's not his job. Hansi Flick is not the coach of Spain or Germany, or it's not his job to do this. But still, he did it. He got the cell phones, he called them, introduced himself, wished them luck. Pretty cool touch by the German coach, who will have a lot of work to do once all these players are back, because there's not going to be a lot of time, because they're going to finish the tournament, then there's vacation. Copa America finishes even after the Euros, then vacation. By the time all the players come back, it's going to be a short preseason. So Hansi Flick will definitely have his work cut out to get all these players ready for the upcoming season. All right, let's do some comments, and then we're going to talk about the bombshell news. I wish I had a drum. Now, Barcelona have reached the 1-1 rule. I will tell you all about it. All right, let's start with a comment. The Matrix saying 1-1. Yes, my friend, 1-1. Finally, after a million years of being under the 1-4, 1-3, 1-1,000,000, we're finally back under the 1-1. But I'm not going to get ahead of myself. You have to wait. Trick shot Kraut says on the round of 16, and Gundogan was spectacular today. I think he was the MVP, actually, if I'm not mistaken. Spectacular performance by Gundogan, and not just during this match. Last season with Barcelona, previous season with Manchester City. The fact that there were people saying, "Oh, Gundogan's slow. Oh, we should sell Gundogan," makes me lose hope sometimes in humanity. It's like, what are you watching? Do you not know what to watch for? Are you only watching, I don't know, the hot people in the stands? Are you just watching how cool the grass is, that you're not paying attention to what Gundogan is doing and has been doing? Anyways, let's see. Seb Tular says Dani Olmo would be another Ferran Torres. We're going to talk about Dani Olmo, so I won't get ahead of myself. Big Fact says Madrid get Mbappe and we get Olmo. What a time to be alive. That's not what I said, but I'm not going to get ahead of myself. Bermuda said everyone in the Bundesliga coming Barca. I don't know about that. Unless we're trying to start the whole, Xavi prefers Spanish players. Now we're gonna be like Flick prefers German players, and then when we sign a French coach, we're like Barcelona prefer French players. The Matrix says England players seem so overhyped when they compete on the world stage. I feel like France has the same problem. It's like you have all these stars, right? Mbappe, Dembele, Comepinga, and it's like, then they get together in France, and it's like, what happened to you? And I feel like England's the same. I think it's with England's a mentality thing. I don't think they believe they can win, because when they play, they don't seem like they believe in themselves. But I don't know. I just got to say that neither the French nor the English teams inspire me at all. Mark says, hey, Mo, huge that we made it back to the 1-1 rule. We are going back. We are going to have a great year. And AJ, all the way from Japan. What's up, AJ? Thank you for tuning in. I bet it's pretty late. Oh, it's 7 in the morning. Wow. Actually, my sister lives in Japan. She lives in Tokyo. She's been always telling me, when are you going to visit? When are you going to visit? So I'm hoping to visit this year. I was supposed to visit last year, at the beginning of this year. Then something happened, and then was supposed to visit the year before. Something else happened, but hopefully I'll be out there soon. I'm dying to get to know Japan. But anyways, let's go back to the news and let's talk about the bombshell news. Give me some drums. The news is that Barcelona, ladies and gentlemen, are back to the 1-1 rule. And if I was a DJ, I would do But let's talk about this, because Barcelona have sold 15% of Barca Vision to a new investor, and as such, they have covered the debt that was left by Libero, and therefore the club will be back under the 1-1 rule come June 30th. Now, as you know, Barcelona had sold a portion of Barca Vision to the German investment fund Libero, who failed to make payments on time. Barcelona filed a lawsuit, but given that the club did not receive those payments, they had a huge deficit in their budget, and this deficit needed to be met by June 30th, which is when the fiscal year ends. And if Barcelona failed to meet that deadline, then it would have been huge repercussions for the financial fair play, where Barcelona would have been unable to sign anyone and even unable to register the players they need to register, which are Gavi, Alejandro Valde, Vitor and the second year of Íñigo Martinez. But don't worry, because Barcelona have officially found a new investor. They have sold the 15% of Barca Vision to this new investor, which we still don't know who it is. They have not released a name, but it's reported that the club and this new investor have reached an agreement. The agreement is done. It will be signed and sealed next week, and it will be followed by an official announcement by the club. And this deal will completely cover Barcelona's deficit. And come June 30th, Barcelona will submit all that paperwork, and July 1st, which is the new fiscal year, will usher in a new era where Barcelona will be finally under the 1-1 rule, something that Barcelona hasn't been under for several seasons. So big news, huge news, and all that is thanks to this guy, Joan Laporta, who came to the club during its darkest time, came to the club when it was on the verge of collapse, on the verge of bankruptcy. I don't think people realize how bad the financial situation is. And slowly but surely, he's been digging us out of this hole. He has cut expenses all across the board. He has increased revenues. And now he has brought us back to the 1-1 rule. So thank you, Mr. President, for all the work you've done. And to think that people want to oust him because he did what he was supposed to do, which is fire an incapable and inept coach named Xavi Hernandez. Now, the good news about this is that once Barcelona closed the Nike deal, that signing bonus, that 100 million euro signing bonus, will be pure income. Barcelona will not have to use it to cover the deficit. This will go straight into Barcelona's bank, which Barcelona will be able to use for whatever they want. Sign a player, buy hookers, cocaine, whatever they want. They'll be able to use it because it's not going to cover the deficit. The deficit will be covered by the sale of 15% of Barca Vision, which will be finalized, sealed, and announced by next week. So big news. And it looks like the registrations of Gavi, Valde, Vitor Roque, and Íñigo Martinez will be accomplished. More important news. And we'll see what Barcelona will be able to do this summer transfer market, because now under the 1-1 rule, Barcelona will be able to sign more freely. But let's not forget, it doesn't mean that tomorrow we're going to sign Leao, Kvaratskhelia, Mbappe, and Haaland all at once. Barcelona still have a debt problem. We're still not fully financially healthy. So we're still going to be cautious with our signings, but at least we'll be able to sign. Because without the 1-1 rule, we wouldn't have been able to sign anyone. So great news. I'm very happy. I'm very ecstatic. And let's see what you guys are saying in the chat section. All right, let's see. We have a donation. Let's see. Ramius Youssef says, tell the 55 million flop Ferran Torres, even for a loss, player cannot dictate who stays and who leaves. Set a standard. Yes, my friend. Hopefully that's what Flick will do. Hopefully Flick will sit down with Ferran and say, look, man, I'm happy that you hired a therapist and that you worked on your mental state and that you regain your confidence. But let's be real. You're not Barca level. You need to leave. And we'll see if that works. Because at the end of the day, remember, the player has a contract. So no matter if he decides, look, Flick has told me I'm not going to play a single minute. I'm going to be on the bench. And I don't care. And then there's nothing much we can do, right? Because Umtiti did that, remember? Barcelona tried to get rid of Umtiti for a very long time. And they told him, look, you're not going to play a single minute. You don't count for us. Like, you're done. Just leave. He's like, oh, I don't care. I'll just sit on the bench the whole season. And that's exactly what he did for like 2 or 3 seasons. Just sat on the bench. Did not care that he didn't play a single minute and just collected his check, which was, of course, incredibly high, thanks to Bartomeu, who gave him an incredibly high salary. All right, let's see. Kara King says, watching from Barbados. Mo, can't wait till back to Barca is back to normal. Thank you, my friend, for tuning in. And I hope to visit your beautiful island one day. Yaniel says, Mo, if you were Barcelona, who would you buy first? That's a good question. I think I would buy a left winger. Because, yes, we need a proper center midfielder. But at the end of the day, we have a lot of midfielders. And most of them might be attacking midfielders and not center midfield. But you could still somewhat cover that position. On the left, we don't have anyone. We have Joao, who's most likely not going to be coming back. And even if he does, he sucks. We have Rafinha, who I've made my opinion very clear on him, also sucks. And despite that, still, none of them are left wingers. They play there, but they're not left wingers, right? Rafinha's a right winger. Felix is more of a second striker. We don't really have anyone. So I would buy, first thing is, would be someone for the left. Vernon says, Mo, please, let's see collaboration with Talk FCB and Barca News. Best culés info on the undisputed from Sierra. So, someone told me this, and I don't know if it's true or not, but someone told me that Talk FCB doesn't really do collaborations. I could try to reach out and see if he's interested, but someone told me he doesn't do it. Plus, I'm pretty sure, again, I don't watch other Barca news, other Barca channels. I've said this before, not because I have anything against them. It's just a time thing. Between my full-time work, the YouTube channel, my training. I train MMA. I don't have much free time. So whatever little free time I have, it's usually either watching a little bit of TV or maybe playing a little bit of video games just to de-stress. So it's just a time thing. But I think I've seen one of his videos or two of his videos, and they're all just pictures. So I don't think he likes to show his face. So I'm not sure how a collaboration would work between my channel, where I'm right here, and versus Talk FCB, where it's just usually images. But maybe I'll reach out. Who knows? Maybe he will be interested. Slim says, hey, Mo, if you are saying Hansi like playing with fast defenders, why can't he use Araujo and 5 super fast defenders? Because, my friends, there's order to this thing. Barcelona right now have 5 center backs on the first team when you only need 4, right? 2 starters and 2 subs. Barcelona want to keep 5. But the problem is his agent is insisting. We want a first team spot, and we want guaranteed minutes. And Barcelona cannot do that. Why? Because there's 5 other CBs ahead of him. Really good CBs, by the way. It's not like, oh, we have 5 flops, and it's like, yeah, let's bring 5. But we have Araujo. Do you tell me you prefer to start 5 over Araujo? Of course not. No coach will. Are you going to tell me you'd rather start 5 over Cuarsi? Also no. Are you going to start 5 over Christensen? I wouldn't. Would you start 5 over Kunde? I wouldn't either. So you're not going to start 5 over any of those. And since his agent is insisting, there's not much we could do. And honestly, I was very excited for 5 to see him, get some minutes, grow, develop. But if he's already doing this, with this whole, you either give me a first team spot or I'm leaving, and he hasn't even accomplished anything, he hasn't even proven himself, he's only played in 3rd division, and he's already pulling this kind of crap, I would rather he leaves. Let's not forget what happened with Dembele. And Dembele was already an established player. So if this guy's already pulling crap like that, and he's not even an established player, what's going to happen when he does become an established player? Is he going to be another diva with his agent just causing problems left and right? I don't know. And maybe this is just the agent. Maybe Mika Fai has nothing to do with it. But in that case, then Mika Fai, his family, entourage, whatever, they need to then pull the agent back and say, you need to chill. You need to do what we tell you to do, in case if that's what's happening. If the agent is being a rogue, kind of like with Dembele, we also used to say, well, if it's just his agent doing this, why doesn't Dembele call him and say, stop it? You work for me, not the other way around. But we now learned that it wasn't just the agent. Dembele was a snake the whole time. But anyways. All right. Let's do more news. And then we will talk about... We'll do more comments. All right. Let's talk about Hansi Flick. What is going on with my camera? It's like it's losing its mind. There we go. Hansi Flick, who reportedly has doubts about the both of the Joaos. Surprise, surprise. Now, as you know, John Laporta or Deco both would prefer to keep both Joao Cancelo and Joao Felix on the team for one more season. And when it comes to Hansi Flick, he has his doubts. Now, Flick promised John Laporta during that first meeting that they had that he would be content with the squad that Barcelona has, because he believes that this squad, given the players it has, should be performing at a much higher level than what it currently is. And I got to say, I agree with that. I've made that point many, many times when people used to say, oh, poor Xabi, he's Pep Guardiola reincarnated. But the reason why the team doesn't work is because all these players are bums. And I used to say, really? Because we have some pretty great players on the team. We have Ter Stegen, Araujo, Cubarsi, Gabi, Pedri, Balde, Frankie, Gundo, Lewy. I mean, the list is endless. We have quality players. And this team, I'm not telling you this team should be winning trebles, but this team should be at least beating Villarreal and not losing by 8 goals to Girona, right? So Flick believes that this team can perform much better than what it currently is. And he told John Laporta that obviously he would prefer signings to reinforce, but if signings don't arrive, he's fine with that because he knows he can do more with the team. And that remains true. So, having said that, Flick, if both Joaos stay, he wouldn't mind. He would try to work with them and try to extract the best out of them. However, if they leave, he would also be okay with that because he does have his doubts about both Portuguese players. Now, in regards to Joao Cancelo, Flick considers him, a very talented player that has that attacking flair that's very, very dangerous in the attack. But his doubts emanate from the fact that Cancelo is a defensive liability. I think we've seen that time and time again. Cancelo is very lethal in the attack, but when it comes to tracking back and defending, it's a problem. And not only that, but Flick also believes that Cancelo has a lot of tactical deficiencies, where a lot of times he doesn't position himself right, he forgets where he's supposed to be, he loses concentration, and he commits gaffes that a professional player at his level should not be committing. And that's something that was also observed by Pep Guardiola. And that is why Pep Guardiola decided to kick him out of the team, because the talent is there. No one is saying that Cancelo is trash and he sucks, he doesn't know how to play. Not at all. Cancelo is incredibly talented, but the problem is he has a lot of gaffes, a lot of lack of concentration, a lot of mistakes, silly things that someone at his caliber should not be doing. But when he does them, it costs the team a lot, especially with his defensive liabilities. And that is why Hansi Flick has his doubt about Joao Cancelo continuing. Again, if Cancelo continues, Flick will be fine with it. He'll work with Cancelo, do his best to extract the best out of him. But if he leaves, Flick is not going to cry about it. As far as Joao Felix, the doubts that Flick has with him is what I've criticized Joao Felix a lot for. He's apathetic. He's lazy. He lacks intensity. He just goes out there and, does what he feels like doing. Doesn't try to help out the team. If I lose the ball, oh well. Someone else will get it for me. And if the match is not going my way, I'm just going to give up and just walk around the field. But, of course, Flick does recognize that he does have a lot of talent. Nobody's denying that. Joao Felix is an incredibly talented player. But the problem is, of course, his attitude and his discipline. And that is why Flick has doubts about both Portuguese players. But this is where it gets interesting. They say if Flick had to choose one of them, because again, Flick doesn't mind if they both leave, and if they stay, he'll work with both and try to extract the best out of them. But if he had to pick one over the other, and this surprised me, but he would pick Joao Felix. Because when it comes to two players that he doesn't really believe in, he prefers the more talented one. And Joao Felix is, of course, a more talented player than Joao Cancelo. I don't think anyone can disagree on that. I've said it a million times. I think Joao Felix is one of the most talented players in the world, but his problem is his attitude, his intensity, his commitment, his laziness. So that's the news. I thought it was interesting. I shared it with you. Let's get back to the comment section, and then we will talk about Dani Olmo. Barca M says, wait, you guys aren't trolling. We actually got back to 1-1. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, officially, it won't be until July 1st, right? Because June 30th is when the fiscal year ends. When the fiscal year ends, the clubs turn in all their paperwork to La Liga saying, all right, here's our fiscal year. This is how much we made. This is how much we spent, blah, blah, blah. La Liga reviews it all and they're like, okay. And they go club to club. Okay, this is your wage limit. This is your wage limit. This is your wage limit. And they establish all the club's wage limits and what rule they're going to be under. So technically, not until July 1st will Barcelona be officially under the 1-1 rule. But yes, we're back under the 1-1 rule. All right, let's see. Abraham says, hi, Mo. I'm lucky today to watch your live podcast, watching from Liberia. No, my friend, the lucky one is me because you're watching the podcast and because 239 other people are watching it. So the lucky one here is moi. All right, let's see. Shadra says, I think Barca should also consider South American talents because that's where all treats come from in the past. Barcelona have scouts all over the world. If anything interesting comes out of any place, any continent, then, you know, they'll be tracking it. And we have another donation. All right, my man Raymond, thank you so much for your donation. I can't see the super sticker because StreamYard sucks, but I'll make sure to watch this when it ends in order to see what the super sticker is that you gifted us. But thank you so much, my friend, for the donation. I really, really appreciate it. All right, let's do a couple more comments, and then we'll talk about Dani Olmo, and then we'll do a lot more comments at the end. All right, the Matrix says, Laporta have done a great job. He is cooking. I think the members of the club should let him cook. I agree, my friend. Speaking of cooking, I'm very hungry. I'm going to have dinner after this. Samuel says, Mo, I'm watching from Sierra Leone. The last time you spoke about Rudiger badly, and I'm not happy for that. His origin is from Sierra Leone. My friend, what do you want me to do? Not talk about players because they're from this country or that country. I'm here to give you my opinion. If a player I think is bad, he's bad. I don't care where he's from. This whole people's obsession with the nationalities of the players, I don't know what it is. This is not a channel about international football. This is a channel about club football, about FC Barcelona. I don't care where the players are from. I don't care what the race is. All I care about, are they good enough for Barca or are they not? My comment about Rudiger, what can I tell you? I think he's a player who makes a lot of dumb mistakes. That's my opinion. Whether he's from Sierra Leone, from China, from Brazil, I don't know. If he makes dumb mistakes, and I think that they're dumb mistakes, I'm going to say that they're dumb mistakes. What else can I say? Baba Thomas says, please, who are we going in for our defensive midfield? So it's not going to be a defensive midfield because that's not really how Flick plays. He plays with a double pivot. He likes two pivots who are very mobile, who can cover a lot of ground. So this whole defensive midfield idea, like a pure Barcelona pivot, is not going to happen. Like a Subimendi, that's not going to happen. It's going to be more like someone like Kimmich, someone like Angelo Stiller, someone who can cover a lot of ground, go up and down, defend and attack, versus your typical anchor pivot that just stays behind, holds the midfield, and helps the defense. All right, we got another donation. Ramius, my friend, your second donation. Thank you. Says, what are the chances Tebas screwing us over the 1-1? I mean, it's math. You submit your paperwork, the numbers get put in the software, and it spits it out for you. Not much Tebas can do. All right, one more, and then we will talk about Dani Olmo. Ross says, hi, Mo. Thanks for taking out time out of your busy day and making awesome videos and reporting on Barca. We all appreciate you. I heard there is an offer for Christensen for 40 mil. True. Thank you, my friend, for your comment. Not that I have heard, but I know there is interest from clubs who are willing to pay upwards of 40, but like an official offer, not that I know of. And I don't expect probably official offers for players who are playing in the Euros until the Euros are actually over. But anyways. All right, let's do the last bit of news, which is about this guy, Dani Olmo, because Sport Today published a report saying that Hansi Flick has approved the arrival of Dani Olmo. There's also another report, I don't know by whom, I can't remember by whom, that was saying that Barcelona were accelerating their efforts to sign Dani Olmo during this summer. Now, it's no secret that Dani Olmo has been linked with Barcelona for many, many seasons. He's a player that came up through the academy, and Barcelona have considered bringing him back on several occasions. And we also found out before Xavi was sacked that it was actually his favorite option for the left wing over Nico Williams, which that right there should make you doubt Xavi's skills as a coach. And we know that Dani Olmo has been dying to come back to La Liga. It looks like sauerkraut and pretzels are not his thing. He wants to come back to La Liga. Whether it's Madrid, whether it's Atletico Madrid, whether it's Barcelona, he doesn't care as long as it's a big club, as long as it's La Liga. And given that Barcelona have a need for a left winger and Dani Olmo wants to come back and has been linked with the club before, there's been tons of reports talking about Dani Olmo this, Dani Olmo that. And I'm here to tell you, there's no truth to any of them. First of all, even if Barcelona wanted Dani Olmo, he would cost 60 million, and Barcelona cannot pay 60 million for Dani Olmo or for anyone else. Second of all, the number one option for the left wing for Barcelona right now is Nico Williams. Now, as I told you, Barcelona, when they create their lists of players, they create backups. So the number two option for Nico Williams is Nico Williams. Now, the third option, in case the first two don't work, is Nico Williams. And since Barca is an extra cautious club that likes to create backups for backups for backups, the fourth backup, in case the first three don't work, is Nico Williams. So to recap, because I just gave you a lot of names, the number one option for Barcelona is Nico Williams. The second is Nico Williams. The third is Nico Williams. And the fourth one is Nico Williams. Nowhere on that list is Dani Olmo. I think most likely this is his agent just trying to get attention for his player because he wants to get him out of Germany. He wants to bring him to La Liga. So I've been seeing all these reports. Oh, Barcelona won Dani Olmo. Oh, Barcelona already signed Dani Olmo. Oh, Dani Olmo is actually playing in Barcelona. He's not even in the Euros. No truth to that. So don't worry. We already have a Dani Olmo. His name is Ferran Torres. The last thing we need is another Ferran Torres. I think one is more than enough. All right, let's do the comments. Let's see. Sander says, Araujo, Kunde, Kubarsi, Fai should be RCBs and Christensen should be RCD. Okay, again, Flick does not play with a CDM. Flick plays with two pivots. Therefore, Christensen would not work. Christensen would drop back down to center back. So our four center backs would be Araujo, Kubarsi, Christensen, most likely Inigo, because Kunde will most likely move to the right and be a right back. Let's see what else. FCB Peskin says, yeah, what's happening with Rafinha? No new news on Rafinha. All we know is that he has told the club he doesn't want to leave. Of course, he's been saying that since last summer. And for now, we're not going to hear much because Copa America is about to start tomorrow. He's with Brazil. He's focused on that tournament. So we're not going to know more until probably the tournament is over, or at least it's over for Brazil, right? Because if Brazil get knocked out after the first round, then obviously he will come back. So for now, nothing. Plus, remember, Flick still has to meet with all these players, and we don't know what Flick is going to tell him. He could tell Rafinha, hey, I'm excited to have you, and he stays. Or he could tell him, hey, Rafinha, you suck. I don't want you. And then Rafinha's like, all right, I guess I'll leave. So we'll have to wait and see. But for now, no new news. No new news. That was difficult to say. Let's see. What else? W. Songa says, Cancelo in aerophone prone. Can't even read. He invites unnecessary pressure during counter attack. I agree. Definitely defensive liability. Isaac says, please, we should have not allowed Fai to leave. Let him be given a chance if he didn't able to impress. Look, the reason why Fai is leaving again, it's his agent. Barcelona want to keep him, but his agent is saying, yeah, they give him a first team spot and minutes or we're leaving. Barcelona cannot guarantee that. And they shouldn't guarantee that. This is FC Barcelona. You do not come to Barcelona and say, you give me this or we're leaving, because there's the door. Get the fuck out. We've said bye to Messi, our greatest player. And you telling me a 19-year-old player from the reserve team is going to come here and demand things? I'm sorry, it doesn't work like that. Abde tried to do that. And where is Abde now? Ilaix Moriba tried to do that. Where is Ilaix Moriba? There's been tons of players who have tried to do that. Where the hell are they now? That's what happens. Barcelona have been in the business of growing talent for decades. They know how to do it. So when a player comes with potential, Barcelona establish a plan. They say, this is going to be the plan. They lay out a multi-season plan of how to grow, develop, and turn that player into a star. If you cannot be patient enough to follow that plan that the club have implemented for you, a club that knows what they're doing as far as young talent, because we have one of the greatest academies in the world. If you're not patient enough to follow that plan made by one of the best clubs that grow talent, there's the door. I'm sorry, but this is FC Barcelona. This is not a charity. You don't get to demand things. You don't get to request things. You either follow the plan or there's the door. Simple as that. Raymond with the donation. Thank you, my friend. Million times thank you. I can't see your super sticker, but don't worry. I will be rewatching the live stream to see what super sticker you gave us. Let's see. Edwin. Wait. Oh, wait. That was an old donation. I see what happened. I clicked on the wrong donation. Sorry. There we go. The right donation right here. Trick Shot Kraut says, big rumor surrounding Dortmund potentially selling Karim Adeyemi. Transfer value approximately 48 million. I feel he'd be an excellent right wing for us based on his performance at Bayern. If Barca could swing it, how'd you feel about it? I mean, our right wing is covered by Lamine, right? Of course, we wouldn't need someone to back him up, to rotate with him. Giving a 48 million euro sticker on a player for a position that's already covered, I don't see the club doing it. At that point, you're better off keeping Rafinha and have Rafinha alternate with Lamine, or even keeping Ferran. I know we don't like Ferran because he's not that great, but we're also not in a financial position to be spending 50 million on a player that for a position that's already covered. Plus, Karim Adeyemi is not going to want to come here and be the substitute of a 16-year-old. It's just not going to happen, right? And you shouldn't spend 50 million euros on a player who's going to be the substitute of a 16-year-old. You spend 50 million on a player who comes to be a starter, to be your star. And we already have a star on that side. His name is Lamine Yamal. We need someone to sub in with him. And 50 million on a sub, to me, doesn't make sense. Maybe if the club was in a better financial situation, maybe. But not as a sub. Not right now. Gift Frederick says, I'd like to see Lamine on the right and Nico on the left. I would too. Believe me. All right, let's see. What else? The Matrix says, I think Frimpong would be great for us if we can afford it. Yeah, I think so. Let's see. Wes says, there are any video of his agent saying this? I'm not sure if you've ever been in business meetings, but usually business meetings are not conducted like this. All right, so what are we agreeing on? Yeah? Okay, cool. Sign that. All right, cool. So, just saying. Trickshot says, I'm his type. He's a left wing. Okay, that makes more sense. I'm like, why would you want a DM for the right wing? I think I would say Nico would be a better alternative because of age and because of ceiling. I think Nico Williams has a much higher ceiling and it would cost you the same. I mean, yeah, Nico Williams, they're saying is like 50 something, but I don't know. That's my opinion. Emery says, I think Musiala will be better than Nico and all our target. Musiala is definitely going to be a great player. But Bayern are never going to sell him to us or to anybody. Why would you? And B, even if they do, how much? 150? 180? We can't afford that. All right, let's say, Inisa says, Barca may sell, but please don't sell my player, Felix. I mean, first, we can't sell Felix. He's not ours. He's on loan. And second, Felix sucks. I don't know if you're aware of that. Anyways, that is all, my friends. Thank you so much for tuning in, for your donations, for your likes, your comments, your subscriptions. I will see you in the next video. I will be uploading a video later tonight. There's more news. Good news, by the way. So stay tuned to that video. I will see you in that video. Thank you again. And as always, Visca Barça.